Hello, 'tis I, Fat Cow. I have a cat on my knee. She's trying to sleep. Okay, you asked. Miss Pebbush. There she is. Right. Anyway, I wanted to talk about discomfort. Not the most pleasant of topics, no. But something that very evidently Foodie Beauty will do everything in her power to avoid. Now, I knew it was bad. I knew that anything that made her uncomfortable was something she would avoid at all costs. But I didn't realise until yesterday how far it extended, because yesterday it became very evident that Foodie was not willing to help another living being, even if the help was in its best interests, if doing so made her uncomfortable. Now, we all know what I'm talking about here. Now, as a parent of both people and animals, there are times you will have to do things that make the child or the pet very unhappy. But at the end of the day, the thing you're doing is in their best interest. Now, you're going to find this distressing. The first time I took my first child to be vaccinated, I had to leave the room and I sobbed. I was so upset that my child was crying through something that had to be done that I couldn't be in the room. It got better. It got better because I knew it was for the best, and I also knew through experience that my child would get over it very, very quickly and forget about it. I have a cat that has a problem with itchy skin, a dermatitis. It has an allergy and therefore requires medicated baths on occasion, which it fucking hates. Do I like doing it? No. Is it in the best interests of my pet? Yes. So Foodie, who won't see a nutritionalist, although it's in her best interest, won't go to therapy, although it's in her best interest, hasn't seen a doctor for a very long time, even though it's in her best interests, won't remove certain foods from her diet, won't exercise. I can go on. We can list anything, in fact, that is possibly beneficial to an individual that requires some degree of effort as being something that makes Foodie uncomfortable and therefore something she will avoid. Which is ironic when you think about where she is now because of this. She is grossly obese. It cannot be physically comfortable existing in that body. It must hurt. Her back must be screaming. Her knees must be protesting. Her hips must be shouting from the rooftops, for the love of God, please lose some weight. Her skin must be chafed, sore, smell unpleasant. The breathing must be arduous. Sitting up must hurt. Standing up must hurt. Lying down must hurt. You literally stop breathing in your sleep. And all of this you are suffering with currently because other things make you uncomfortable. Your entire existence is discomfort now because of your lack of doing things to make things better or to prevent things from happening. It's bizarre. It's ironic. It's a joke. When things hurt, you do what you can do to prevent it hurting. I've said this before. If I eat bread, I experience physical pain. A degree of physical pain that I am unwilling to put up with. As much as I love bread, and oh gosh do I love bread, I dislike the pain it causes me even more. Now you're talking about somebody who is chronically in pain. I'm in pain always. But the pain that eating bread causes me is incomparable. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. No wonder babies cry with colic. No wonder horses die with colic. This is what it feels like. So now we have Julia. Now I've been avoiding talking about this because animal husbandry is not my area of expertise. But being a pet owner is. Now I don't know whether the operation was done, wasn't done, was badly done, was done properly, because I know personally medicine, be it human or animal, isn't necessarily the same in the Middle East as it is in the West. For example, and I don't know about this in the West because both of my operations I had were done in the Middle East, but both my cesareans, I didn't have any visible stitches. Much like Julia's incision, I was closed with surgical glue, which is phenomenal stuff. Barely, well obviously I have a scar, I mean the child was removed from me via a alternative route. But my incision looks very similar, obviously bigger, than Julia's. I believe surgical glue was probably used. So the actual operation I can't comment on. I just know that in my experience, and I've had cats neutered in the Middle East, but they're all male, which is a different beast altogether. I just know they went in the morning, they came back in the afternoon, they were still groggy, and they never went back again to see the vet for that. They didn't go in for a few days. They weren't left with painkillers. But as I said, male nutrients a different beast. So, as I said, I can't comment. But the aftercare, the pet care. Now, I hate doing anything that distresses my animals. I really, really do. It breaks my effing heart. But you do it because you love the animal. Not doing things because it upsets you doesn't equate to I love my animal so much I can't do this thing. That's not how parenting for a person or a pet works. You do the thing because you love them so much. Because at the end of the day, what you're doing is just looking after yourself and your feelings. when she was on her back and you were showing everybody her stomach. You were manhandling her. That's not how you handle an animal that's just been cut open. She hates her cone. Of course she hates her fucking cone, because you haven't allowed her to get used to it. If you left it on her, after a while she'd adapt. That's what animals do. They adapt. Stop putting your feelings on her. Because every time she bounces about and stuff, you take it off. She knows if she bounces about, you'll take it off. And you're worried about her not being able to eat. You have seen the videos of other people with cats with their cones on. They find a way. And you're worried she can't groom herself because of the cone? Well, guess what? You could groom her. You know, the thing you're meant to be doing every day with a long-haired cat anyway. My ex, my Middle Eastern ex, had to have one of my cats euthanized while I was visiting my family in another country. The cat got very, very ill very, very quickly. I think his urethra got blocked, so he couldn't pass urine, and by the time they realised what was wrong, his temperature was so low, they said they'd only operate if his temperature rose, which it never did, so it was the kindest thing to do. But that hit my husband very hard. However, it wasn't the best thing to do. Later, we had another cat. This cat was originally mine before we got married. So when we got married, he had 2 cats, I had 2 cats. When we got married, I kind of expected us to become a family with 4 cats, but no. He kept his 2 cats and my 2 cats were kennelled. Anyway, one died while it was there because it was so distressed. And the other one eventually was brought home. And she got ill. Very ill. And basically needed euthanizing. And the little fucker wouldn't do it because he didn't want to feel guilty. The last time made him feel so bad that he wouldn't euthanize her even though she was suffering. So I had to go to a pharmacy and get the things and do it myself because it was the kindest thing to do. Shit. You do what's right by your pets. You do what's right by your pets. You don't do what's best for you. I have said it before and I will say it again. Foodie. You are so fucking selfish. I'm going to put my cat in screen. Okay, because she's beautiful. Foodie. You are a selfish, unpleasant person. And I knew you only think of yourself and you always put yourself first. And I knew that came to your pets too. But I didn't know you were that bad. I should have known. I should have known when you spent the night with Nada after Pete's cat was put to sleep. I should have known when you spent all your time with Nada when your grandmother was dying. I should have known. It was there all along. But now, everybody knows. I've said it before, and I've said it again, and I will say it again. Fuck you, Chantal.